You want a coffee? Going?
Hey man, what are you doing?
Nothing, just looking at the rental stats right now. Do you know that there's close to 7,000 units available for lease? Almost 7,000. That's the same amount as last quarter that actually leased in 2019. It's a lot of vacant units.
Oh, you want to take this into the boardroom?
Yeah, here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here. So in September, there was 4,700 properties that listed for lease in downtown Toronto, and only 1,000 of those have leased, so that's like 22%. And right now in the first week of October, there's almost 7,000 units for lease, I was just saying right now, compared to that to 1,700 in the last September. Rents in downtown Toronto have come down 10 to 15%, and I think it's gonna get a lot worse as the flu season hits and the second wave rolls in. So I'm gonna call the Toronto rental market a dumpster fire. Things are really bad. People are moving out and migrating out towards the cities, towards the suburbs, in search for more space for indoors, for working from home, and also from outdoor space. But you know what? Toronto isn't alone in this. You'll see it in big cities like New York and San Fran. More people are migrating to smaller towns and cottages full time because people aren't taking their families out on vacation. There's nowhere to go. So you might as well double the place as a vacation property and a working from home scenario. Here, let me show you a little graph of what we have here. So here's the average numbers in all of the Toronto real estate board. So we'll match that up with the downtown core, which is basically east and west of Yonge, south of Bloor, from Dufferin to DVP. Then we'll pile in the rest of the city of Toronto, then York Region's numbers, Peel, Durham, Halton, Simcoe, and Dufferin. The Toronto Real Estate Board had 11,000 sales and 20,000 new listings on the market. Let me show you what this means. Okay, so I'll show you what sales to new listing ratio means. So this is kind of like a balanced market. Anything above this is seller's market. And then down here, anything less than 40% is a buyer's market. I'm gonna go a little further and say anything less than 30% is an extreme buyer's market, and anything above about 80%. If you want to learn more about this, I'll give you a little tutorial, I'll make another video at some other point. I think I've done it in the past, I don't remember. Hopefully you guys understand that. Let's move on to the next thing. Here, I outlined a little temperature map of everything in the Toronto Real Estate Board. For a downtown Toronto condo, you can get one on average for $772,000 between Yonge and Dufferin. There, it's extremely cold. The temperature is 24% sales to new listing ratio. That means it's a severe buyer's market. We'll compare that to Simcoe County, where the average price of a detached house is $787,000. So it's pretty much the same thing. You can choose a condo downtown, or you can choose a place in Simcoe County. You can see why over here the sales to new listing ratio is 88%, and you can see why people are going up there because of work from home and having more space. And you get the same thing. You get a detached house or a condo in the city. What would you rather prefer? So as the whole work from home phenomenon takes over as a new normal, people are deciding to ditch their high-priced big city real estate and search for a small oasis in the suburbs. Most of the cool restaurants and cafes are different now. Either they're shut down or the vibe is totally different. And you can see it in the numbers. Is it a forever thing? I don't think so. I don't know. At some point, I think the trend will reverse. I mean, there's a reason why, before COVID anyway, big cities kept getting bigger, right? So I don't think cities are dead. Like, what are you gonna do with, if you're in a small town of 10% of the population anyway? Like, there's really not much to do. You might get bored eventually. And I think people are making long-term decisions on short-term problems. And unless you're renting, which is a great argument for why you should be renting in the first place, it's not as capital intensive to just pick up and go. You can just give your last month's notice, get your first and last again, and then move on to somewhere else. Like, what are these people gonna do when downtown offices open up again and it's gonna be a 2-hour plus commute to get back into work each way? Work from home is here to stay, but at some point, prices are gonna get too high and buyers are gonna come back downtown into higher density living, which is pretty much condominiums. Oh, I also want to talk about interest rates. The interest rates are propping up the real estate market really in general. So for example, if you had a $500,000 mortgage for 25 years, that would cost you $2,020 per month at 1.59%. And if you remember, in the beginning of January 2019, interest rates were at a high of 3.19%. So that would cost you $2,400 on a typical $500,000 mortgage, which is a savings of $400 per month for the next 25 years. So you can see that's a significant savings that you're gonna get over the life of the mortgage. And if you compile that, so say you had $1 million mortgage, then that's basically double. You're saving $800 a month. And I think as we're just starting our second wave of COVID in Toronto, Investors are picking up additional rental units because of the lower interest rates. Downtown Toronto is actually on sale right now, and there's a lot of good opportunities out there. And as a whole work from home trend becomes a lot more popular, you can see that everybody, anything to do with housing is just on fire right now. The whole entire market, whether it's a contractor or a real estate agent or interior designer or whatever, they're all super busy because there's a shift in consumer behavior and everybody's centered around the home now. Before COVID, there wasn't enough housing to meet the demand, and I think it's gonna get a lot worse as there's not enough housing starts, things are slowing down, construction sites are slowing down. It's gonna take longer to build things, and in the beginning of 2021, we're gonna really see that effect. So with that, I wouldn't worry about if you have a vacant unit, like I was saying, if it's for rent. Just take a lower rent for now, just get somebody in there, or keep it vacant if you want to, but I think if you kept a unit rented out at a lower price, just wait for the next tenant, or just buy more properties. You know, at the end of the day, just invest into another condo, take some money out of your house, or it doesn't have to be a condo, it could be anything. But I think rental housing is not gonna go anywhere. I think Toronto's still a great place to live, and it's not gonna shrink at any time soon. Why would it?